Hey guys, and welcome to today's First Impressions video, the video series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Astral Ascent, which is a side-scrolling combat-based platformer with some RPG elements and a rather interesting story. It is mainly made with controller in mind, so do bear that in mind when you are playing this game. It's not really built for keyboard and mouse. Outside of that, as always, we'll look at the options first. I will let you know what I think of those, and then we'll jump straight into the gameplay, and I will give you my first thoughts and impressions. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into the options, shall we? Alright, we're in the options. Now, the first thing I am very pleased to report on is the fact that mouse and keyboard does work in the options menu. A lot of the times when you get these sort of games, they are only gamepad and they won't allow any functionality for the mouse and keyboard. So it's nice to see that they do allow that. Outside of that, you have your gameplay options. There are a lot here and it's really nice to see. They've got a decent amount of accessibility options and some ways to make the game easier to see as well as easier to do. You've got your hints and tutorials on. You've got your Zodiac intro videos, all that good stuff. Really impressed with this, and I'm really happy with the animation of the menu as well. Next, you've got your controls. Now, these don't look like they're rebindable, but they don't really need to be. Everything sort of makes sense and are where you would expect them to be. Then you've got your sound options. Now, unfortunately, the volumes are put up at 100%. But the soundtrack is really nice. It's very calming and it fits the theme of the game really well. It's also not overly loud. Like, it's at full percentage, but it's not blast your ears out loud. So I can kind of forgive them for that. And lastly, your graphics. I don't know why the graphics options are so low. And if I did have any criticism of this menu, it is the fact that there simply isn't enough graphic options. Now, when you look at the visuals of the game, it kind of makes sense as to why there isn't. And the graphics of the game is one of my biggest bugbears with the game. And normally it's not really an issue for me. I prioritize gameplay and frame rates and, you know, mechanics. But the graphics are so disjointed in this that it doesn't make much sense to me. Now, this game is in early access, so maybe they will go down a different style later on. I don't know. But you've only got better effects, light quality, window size, and screen mode. That's literally all you get. So let's jump into the gameplay and see what I like and what I don't like about this game. Alright, so we are in the sort of starting area or hub, which is where you can basically go and sort of test out a bit. You can practice. You've got your testing buddies here. You can talk to a lot of the characters and see how the story develops, and then you've basically got to get to the owl to start the thing. Now, the reason why I've started in here and not one of the actual levels is because I wanted to talk about one of the biggest disconnects for me personally, and that's the graphic style of the actual game itself. They've gone with the 8-bit style, but then if you look at the art and the clarity of everything else, it feels like it's a waste. It feels like the game should be better than this looks-wise. It looks like it doesn't look bad, but when, for example, if we go and talk to somebody, you'll see the actual quality of the art for the RPG scenes. It's beautiful. It's stunning. Like, it's really well done. The voice acting is phenomenal. And it just feels like, I don't know, the graphic style of the game just doesn't fit the rest of the actual game. Now, mechanically, playability, it's smooth, it runs great, the combat feels amazing. But again, it's just, I can't get over this massive graphic disconnect from the RPG elements to the gameplay and the actual game itself. It doesn't feel right. But that's a very subjective thing. That's very much a me thing. There's many other people on here that I feel would completely disagree with me and think that it doesn't really matter. Again, it's the gameplay that's important. So, what we do here is we are going to fly with the big owl lady, and we're going to go into the game. Now, There are a number of different stages that you can choose and a number of different boosts that you can get. So you pick a slot and you get your boost there and it's done. Right? Which is really, really interesting. I like the fact that the spells change depending on which ones you get and how you go through them. As you walk to the end of this stage here, you get a portal. Now this happens at the end of each stage and the stages continue, and then when you want to take a break you come out and you go back to the beginning. I don't know whether it saves it when you've gone against the Zodiacs or not. I'm not that far in. However, what you can do is you can choose, and it shows you your difficulty, the type of room, and the reward that you get for it. So you can go for exploration, and you can go for fighting in this one. Now this is procedurally generated and changes each time. We're going to go with the fighting room just because I want to show you the combat in all of its sort of glory, if you like. The exploration aspect is pretty much standard as you're going to go. So you come down here and you'll get a load of enemies that spawn in. Now the combat itself is very simple. You've got your normal sort of combo and then you can throw in a spell as well. As you use a spell, it will go down the slots, and depending on what power-ups you've got and what other spells you've got going on, will do different things. You can double jump and you can hit enemies in the air, and once you've hit them in the air, you get a second jump again. You've got dash and you can dash in the air, and whilst you're dashing you are invincible. So again, it's very simple in its design, but it works really well. It's very graphically pleasing. For the actual fight scenes, I just feel like it could be better. I'm really enjoying this and I want to enjoy it more, but I want to see what they can do. I feel like there is so much more that they could do to make this game look so pretty. I just feel it's not really living up to its potential, if you like, you know? I really like these as well. These sort of parts where you've got to jump up and hit, even if I am no good at them. I can't get up there. There you go. We're up. So there is some platforming to do as well, which does take a little bit of getting used to. The enemies themselves don't seem that difficult. It does seem like they, instead of getting more challenging mechanics-wise, they just get very more tanky. They get more HP, etc. There are things to find around the map, plenty of bonuses and things like that. Overall, it's a very well-rounded out RPG, side-scrolling platformer. There's not really much else to say. It's a lot of fun. The story looks interesting. The voice acting is utterly incredible. I just feel personally that the graphics of the actual game let it down from everything else. It just feels like it's not living up to its potential. But again, it is an early access game and you never know, this may change. Doesn't seem like there is fall damage in the game either, which is always good because, as we all know as gamers, that is one of the things that you will die to more than a really difficult enemy. So there you are, guys. This is Astral Ascendant. Let me know in those comments down below what you think. And thank you very much for watching. I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.